Okay, better late than never. Uh, Always changing around my home. I got, as I've said on Twitter, frankly, more people than I'd like to have in the place, and the schedule was originally for 10 to 7, so I expected to have this out, and then the schedule changed, the schedule being the work schedule for other people that work right next to my computer. So, without further ado, we'll get right to it. See my command report says that I have 4 airstrikes to support my unit here. There's the 4 airstrikes. Anti-tank aircraft. Zoom out. You can see the whole command. I am in command of these Sherman Firefly platoons. That's the 2nd Armored Irish Guards. That's my core unit. I have attached units. These, hopefully you can see my cursor. These Daimlers are from the 2nd Household Cavalry. And I have some half-tracks and Bren carriers that are attached from the 1st Motorized Grenadier Guards. And I have some Sexton, self-propelled artillery support. My goal for this, there's your 2D view, very Panzer leader blitz-ish. Let's get back to this. You can see the objective points, their victory point values. These are my objectives. Toggle switch gives you the geographical tags. Oops. Don't want that. I hate those. Toggle that off. Okay. So that's the overall view. Seize the bridges. And this flanking along this paved road, which I don't believe is worth it. I don't think I have enough infantry support, and I think that I could lose 20 victory points or more trying to clear a village with just tanks and light recon. So I'm going to 180 this whole element and concentrate on this direction, getting the bridges. Force preservation is a big deal in these campaign games, because you're going to get, obviously, attrition. You will get some strength points in replacements, but probably not enough, and you really got to concentrate on not losing a lot of combat power. So I think it's not a good trade-off to take that flanking route for that reason. Okay, I don't know how many people have played this game. I assume most are watching because they have. But I'll try to give a little bit of a briefing on the system. It's not terribly complicated. The detailed explanation does involve some fairly algebraic math, and I'll spare you all that. If you purchase the game and want to play, you can take a deep dive into the details on the player manual. I'll just give you the basics. In fact, even explaining direct fire is fairly complicated as far as the details of the math behind it. I play this game because it reminds me of GHQ. It reminds me very much of a advanced Panzer leader, Panzer Blitz. There's a strong sense of connection. I don't know that it was intentional or if it's just the influence in the design, but that's one of the most attractive things to me about this game. That, and it's never really given me a lot of trouble on the PC, with the exception of the lack of sound that I didn't realize was an issue with this version of the game. This is the Matrix version versus the original Talonsoft version, which I prefer, even though this version has more built-in scenarios. So, moving on, we'll get to the game. Recon and observation is another mathematical problem that the computer crunches through to determine whether you can see something. It's a random number at the end of this formula that's based on the size of the unit and the obviously the terrain it occupies, but also what hex sides you're viewing it through. So if you view a unit from behind a stone wall, it'll be harder to see than something that was in a hex without a stone wall, is one example. And bottom line is, it's possible that even adjacent to the hex you might not see something in it if it's small enough, which I think is a little much bit of a quirk, but there it is. So, and the recon get a bonus in observation rolls due to their speciality in that. So, first thing I'm going to do, use this armored car. The button I push is to save action points for firing. If you look in the upper right, presuming you haven't played, I'll try to be brief so I don't bore the people who have, but you'll see strength, morale, action, assault, fire cost, defense around the picture of the model that's representing a platoon. Strength is just the number of vehicles in the platoon. The morale is a rating, the higher the better. Fire cost is the cost in action points to make an attack. The defense is in red, I believe, because I selected armor facing. The defense is like Panzer Leader. It's an average of the thickness of the armor, basically. And when you use the optional armor facing rule, then you get that. You get defensive values for each facing, which aren't displayed. Those you have to look up in the book. The assault value is your combat factor in relation to assaulting a hex, and I believe it's cumulative with everything else that's making the assault. So let's get on to moving some pieces around. Like I said, I want to check this area out. Far left here. Excuse me, I'm going to do the same with this column of them on the right of my main force. Again, presuming you can see me waving my little crosshair cursor here. I'm aiming for this area. I want to get over this rise and examine mostly these woods areas for potential ambush. This small village might be an issue here as well. So I'm gonna these guys up. I don't expect to see anything within my view right now, but probably the Germans, the enemy. We got a defensive belt in this woods. I'm sure they're in the village. pronunciations up, so pardon my American-ness in that. Not a form of disrespect, just not good pronunciations. Lots of tools in this game if you haven't played. If you hit the V as a hotkey, that gives you your view, what you can see. Unit has to be selected, and it's about that specific unit. And I wheeled out off the road because I wanted this recon to look around a bit at the oops, get this other guy. I want these guys to check that tree line. Lots of that kind of stuff. I haven't moved the mic that much from last night. I got one gentleman to test it for me, and he said the sound was good. I hope it's good on yours. I'm concerned that it might be coming on too strong, or it might overwhelm my voice. So hopefully that's not happening. I was hoping to get more people to listen, but the nature of Twitter or whatever, I only got the one fella. So if you're listening, I forget who did it, but thank you. Leaders. I don't think I handled leaders. Leaders have command and leadership, as you see. I think the command gives a bonus. I kind of forget, frankly. Anyway, they provide bonuses to morale, to direct fire to units that are in the hex with them. So both morale and direct fire can get bonuses. I believe there's a bonus for close assault, having a leader with you when you make a close assault. They also provide some sort of efficiency bonus when coupled with a headquarters element. I'll show you one of those. Here's battalion headquarters truck. They function as both command and control and supply. If you're out of command radius, you're out of supply, which is kind of I guess an abstraction. Not my favorite part of the system, but if you're out of the command radius, you can turn it off. It's an optional rule, but it affects supply, and or at least it's denoted as low on supply, but it's a kind of a combat degradation. I think it halves your combat ability if you're low on supply. So, and they have the command radius can be displayed like that. I don't pay a heck of a lot of attention to it. I probably should. It probably affects me, or I should just turn it off. But I default to all optional rules, like I do with most war games. Anyway, that's what leaders do. The picture isn't historical, but I think in this case all the names of these guys are historical. One of the neat things with this system in Talonsoft, I'm sure you can do it in this one, is you can replace those picture files out and put in historical, or I saw a guy put in Kelly's Heroes pictures and stuff like that. You can I won't play this for long. I'm already concerned about the sound being, but just to give you a taste, if you haven't played this game, this is pretty groovy too. And it's not the best one, but you got that too, background music. In the Talonsoft one, all the German music was German military, not Nazi stuff, but German military, Panzerlied and all that. Probably get some sort of social demerits for having that on right now, but you could replace those as well. And I got a neat upgrade that put in all movie themes, like A Bridge Too Far, Longest Day, all that stuff. It's pretty cool. Try a little small talk talk for you here because moving columns part of the game. You can automate this to some degree, but a lot of times, especially if the ground is soft, it won't recognize it being the routine that does the mass movement. They'll just ignore the dirt roads if there's rain or mud. Anyway, you can make it a mess. If you, I don't even remember the hotkeys, but there are options to make mass movements that are supposed to automate this kind of thing. But I've learned that you can drive yourself into a whole lot of trouble by using that option. Maybe 8 hexes when I know I'm safe is about as much as I'll do. Even that is unit by unit. They'll stray, like I say, or they'll blunder into something too close to the enemy. So you have to bear with me while I do the column march here. Like I said, I'm going to pull these guys. 180. Yeah, it's a good little game though. Like I say, very Panzer leader-like. I'll be doing a lot more of this sort of thing. I'm sure this one's going to be shaky. You're supposed to talk yourself up. I'll get better. I'm a talker when I get into the swing of things, but I just kind of got to find my groove like everybody does. And I figured if I do a bunch of these just as practice, that's what a lot of people said you should do. But I'm burning material. And I'm hoping that the people that follow me, I think the people that follow me are tolerant. They're not, you know, they'll give me a chance. You guys will give me a chance, won't you? Even if this one is a little bit less than stellar. Just decided to cannonball in instead of wade into the water. Never done a live stream ever. That's a little sloppy, but just trying to speed it up for purposes of entertainment. But that's too many people on a road generally, especially in column. I could have kept the sextants back, but anyway. We'll advance the turn here. See some minefields have popped up. That's where I expected there'd be something. Probably in that small village hex. So you note that it says that the 2 headquarters units that I have are out of supply or cannot provide supply because they've moved. They have to move to their new location, sit in their new location for 1 turn. That's the time it takes for them to, you know, unpack their gear or whatever before they can become functional. Reinforcements, I don't believe I have any in this, but there's a dialogue, and for those who haven't played, you just click on the unit that you want in the list and they will arrive at designated coordinates. It's got a hex system, numbering system in the lower right. You can go and click on any hex and it'll give you the row and column of the hex. Okay, keep scouting off in this direction. I'll just keep working left to right these turns, so again, 1 by 1 seems a little tedious and annoying to watch, but it's recommended in this game, especially when you're expecting contact. Defensive fire, opportunity fire in this game is very strong, and it seems to have gotten stronger with the Matrix version, but that might just be my perception based on bad luck. But they'll snap you good if you wander into something, so that's why I go one by one. Not even gone there. I knew that was going to happen. But anyway, it doesn't have to be recon by death, but with the system they have. But it seems like, again, this very well may be my perception and not fact, but it sure seems like it's the whole spotting thing has been detuned, and you're more apt to blunder into something or just have to use recon by death than you did in Talonsoft. But I don't have fact on that. It's just a feeling. Anyway, I blew it and lost a bunch of tracks. So see the enemy. That's the fog of war, and you can get a hint by looking at the model, because they don't really mask the model or have a generic model that I know of. And I don't know, that looks like probably a 75. But anyway, you don't get any more information how many of them there are, any of that stuff, until you get closer. Okay. Now, how do I move on this guy without getting drilled again? Centralized organization. So you click on anything with the highlight units based on organization. As you see down in the center, there's the white text, tells you what I'm clicking on. That shows all the members of that unit. Anything subordinate to it, or any of its sister platoons. If I click on one of the headquarters, it'll show the whole battalion that the headquarters commands. That's a good little tool, especially if you want to pay attention to command radius and stuff like that. Anyway, spread them out next turn and see if I can see anything in this area here. You can also see what the enemy can see by clicking on its unit and hitting V. So I thought maybe I'd get a chance if I went into the village. Okay, no risk, no reward. Bring up those anti-aircraft, whatever. There we go. That helped a little bit. Now I got D on this guy. Disruption is very similar to Panzerblitzen Leader. You can't move towards the enemy, but you can move away from the enemy. Can't conduct any close assaults, and your direct fire is halved. And I think that's cumulative with any other negative or positive modifiers. So, and you can see when I mouse over the enemy with the it'll show you my fire. Part of the extreme fog of war, I believe, is that question mark. If the at 1, and there's a way to read that in relation to the CRT, and honestly I don't remember. It's another informational thing that I don't waste time learning, which I is probably a detriment, but I don't recall. Anyway, there's a great walkthrough. There's great documentation with this game. If you're not familiar with it, it's easy to become so. That's just a little bit of the basics. I think I've covered enough of the basics. I don't need to brief you anymore, and we can just get on with the game. But anyway, I want to try to bring this unit here. I'll give you the 75. This is kind of a assault gun half-track type of deal. Let's see if I can get it up here without getting blasted out. Wait till next turn to shoot. Okay. Obviously this town is going to need the infantry to clear it, so I'll bring them up. There's a time element involved here. You look down in the lower left, you can see the turn track, which is a kind of progression bar. I'm on turn 2 of 12. This circular silver thing and a number is the amount of possible variated turns. If I remember how this works right, there's a random roll that determines whether there'll be another turn or not, or something to that effect. Anyway, it's meant to defeat that kind of gamey last dash for the objective type of thing that older games used to have. And you never really know when the end is. Which makes it a more enjoyable game. A little bit of planning consideration into that. Bring the HP. Get into the habit of using that control part. Put two in a hex on the road, and they can maintain the road benefits anymore, and they cannot. What do I want to do? Let's the left side recon is weak, so these guys forgot the feeling that they might be needed, and you can display their range, I believe, as well. So I got everything. Oh, yep, there it is. No problem. I'm just going to keep them there, them being the sextons, in case the infantry need it. Okay. Next turn. There goes that. Well, they're terrified of us. They're running. I don't know why that is. Maybe strengthening their lines further up. Okay, here again, like you say, undisrupted or recovered of morale gives you that. You can see specifically which one they're talking about using the hex numbering. Alright, let's get into the normal view. Probably, there you go. Boy, now you can see what's going on. Should have been doing that in the first place, huh? Alright, and you can double click on a unit and that will select everything else inside that hex. You can do the combinatory attacks. I'm going to try to get this anti-tank unit neutralized. There's my... knocked it down one. So as you can see, some stuff, most assault guns have a 50 cost to fire. So everything can get a couple of... most things can shoot twice. Some of the higher rate of fire machine guns and autocannon, like the 20 Mike the Germans had, that kind of thing, they can fire 3 times. But most tank guns and medium artillery, direct fire type of artillery guns have the possibility to shoot twice. And even move a little bit. Or shoot once and move and all that. There we go. Way down. Fire support. Oh, picked up a machine gun in the trench. They tend to be good anti-tank. They don't explicitly model infantry anti-tank weapons. Well, they do ATRs. They do have individual ATRs, but a lot of the German units in this game tend to be good at anti-tank. And I guess that's just abstracting the amount of Panzerfaust that they have. So you've got to be wary of a machine gun sometimes as a tank in this game. Probably in a lot of others too. But anyway, something to plan for. So I'm not that afraid. I'm going to go up in this field here. Things are going on. I'm not going to shoot at him. It's an exercise in futility with that heavy trench that he's in. Just let him stand overwatch there. Now for this fella, now that we got rid of the gun, let's see if we can village here. See? Right. Man, not good. In these link campaigns, I may or may not get, I'll get some victory points, or excuse me, strength points for doing good. I don't remember if they explain the mathematics behind that or how it comes up with what it comes up with, but I've played a lot of these and you never get much, no matter how well you do. Never enough to replace everything, even if you're, well supplied allied unit. So that's going to hurt because I'm probably not going to get them back. Gotta be careful. Anyway, keep on trying. Infantry, probably. And one other difference between Talonsaw that is, I guess, neat, but it requires a little more research, is the infantry was a little more generic. here I see all sorts of in this version, the Matrix version. There's units that are 38 German infantry, and you know they seems to have used a lot more organizations structures for the infantry than the Talonsoft did. So I don't know how that really translates into this game. I you know didn't really read the instruction manual that much. I felt like, hey, I'm an old hat at this, but there's a lot of changes that I didn't pay attention to. But anyway, uh, there's there is some more variety to the infantry. So, and I don't know what that means. Probably how much anti-tank ability they have and stuff like that. But when the infantry is mounted in their vehicles, the helmet icon indicates that. You can mouse over and right click on it, and that shows you what's mounted onto that track or half track or whatever vehicle. You can ride tanks and all that too. So stage them here. Again, just like Panzer Leader, the stacking becomes an issue. You can't unload sometimes 4 vehicles in the same hex because it generates a stacking violation. So unload them one by one. Back them up, and we'll just work our way through the town that way. Have more than one, as you see, leader. It just, as far as who gives the bonus, it's the whoever's got the best bonus, and the other leader doesn't mean anything. So stacking them up that way can be dangerous. You can lose, leaders. I hope the that sound effect isn't too much for you there. Just figured without it, all you got is my voice. Hopefully you can hear it all right. So be worried about it as I do it. Mr. Confidence. I'll gain it. Hopefully people are still with me. Alrighty. I could do this live too. I actually probably should have, but I didn't have a lot of faith in my connection. Next time I'll try that. I did it recording thinking, you're going to edit everything and blah, blah, blah. And then I looked at, I said, shit, this thing will be out in a week if I do that. So I'm just freestyling it and see how it goes. Okay, good enough. A little bit in the town, a little bit burning, but see what happens next turn. Hopefully the errant artillery won't get me. Kind of a little... Artillery's a little bit of a enigma here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it catches something in the open. It's like if you're in the open, and everybody's going to go, yeah, that's the way it works. But if you're in the open, you're going to get slaughtered. If you're in any type of cover, it's almost like you got an iron umbrella over you. There's no subtlety in the distinction. That's the problem I have with the artillery. You know, being in a casemate and being in some trees pretty much both guarantee you're going to see almost no casualties from artillery, no matter how much or how heavy it is landing on you. Slightly exaggeratory, but not that much. I've seen some artillery splashes where you just shake your head and go, there's just no way nothing ain't hurt from that. It just doesn't seem right. But again, it's all a matter of perception, and it's still a fun game. But when I get a chance, I am switching back to Talent Soft. I'll give you that much. But here I am knocking the game I'm playing. But anyway, just going to move through this farm field. I don't think there's really anything in there hiding. But I do want to get some more stuff on this rise so I can see if there's anything coming down the road later. Climbing a cliff and going through a hedge, that's a tall order. I'm going to move around the hedge. See, I did that. Dope. There's just being lazy. Clicked on the wrong thing. And, like I say, that was what I was warning about earlier. That's why you're supposed to, one or two at a time. I forgot that it would use the railroad as a faster means of... it takes the path of least resistance as far as movement points. So it also shows you that, like I said, these machine guns elements can be nasty to tanks. Same mistake there. I'll make my move on the objective point. So there we go. Give a little fire support for them. Something. Shot it. Yep. Panzerfausts everywhere. Got my machine gun. So even shooting is a decision. Should I fire twice, or should I fire once and then scooted? Because he's going to hit me again with them Panzerfausts or whatever is being represented there. close assault, magnetic mines. They got the typical German anti-tank bite. So once they've made a couple of can't defensive fire isn't unlimited, so he shot what he's shot, so now I can. Should I risk this? I'm going to risk it. Often there'll be something else. Like there could even be a whole nother infantry platoon in there, even though I'm not seeing it. Like next turn. You know, so there's that to consider, but these guys if I can suppress this infantry a little bit. Up here north in this direction and then hassle anything coming down this road that is trying to reinforce this village. See, we're on turn 4. It keeps on ticking. For good measure, because like I say, you could find a lot that this is chock full of people and not just the one. I'm gonna lay some of that 105. I think that's 105 on Sexton's, right? Anyway, some heavy artillery there. This seems to be a place they like to mass or whatever. I probably shouldn't try pot shots with the artillery. You do have artillery ammunition limits. At least you did in Talent Soft. Oops. Hope that isn't too strong. I just realized that I'm talking too close to the mic. But yeah, you can be given a certain amount of fire missions, or you can just occasionally have the artillery has to make a supply check too, even if it's off board. And it can go into a grayed out status. Indicate, yeah, see there's one there. He's not available. He's either been used or it also can indicate that they're low on ammunition and unavailable for a IF mission. Doesn't mean they can't defend themselves with direct fire. I believe they still can, but it's just easier to survive. Oh, mess. I think what I got there is going to be enough. I'm just going to try to speed things up. I know I'm breaking my own rule again. Wildly long movements, but just want to keep going, keep the action going, even if it's at the cost of some casualties. The main goal here is to try to show you what can be done with the campaign system. I'm really pushing that because I find it a lot of fun. I'd love to have some participation. Although this game is available for multiplayer, I believe. I know Talentsoft could tolerate 16 players. I played once with 4 or 5. I guess we had even teams, so it must have been at least 6. Anyway, it was a ball, and it actually goes faster because everybody on a team can move their units at the same time. It's not taking turns between teams. So, and everybody's assigned a command from within the total force pool for the Allies versus the Axis. And we played it. This is how long ago it was. We were using Roger Wilco for the commo, but it's a blast. So I'd be happy to play this too. But I'm doing the campaign, linked campaign, because I really enjoy that concept that I've been putting out on Twitter, and I'm hoping this might excite some people to it. Plus, like I said, I just want to get one under my belt, no matter how bad it is. the game video. I had a few people mention to me that they felt that. Sorry, I'm just checking my stuff out here, but they wanted to see me do this, and that they felt that explaining my board wargaming would be easier for them to understand. Probably easier for me to explain if I just talked. So and video taped it or video recorded it. So that's what I'm doing. Am I showing my age? Using next, I'll say it's a VHS tape, and we're going to the filling station. I'm a little old. I'm not, a lot of people older than me playing war games, but I sure feel like I'm old sometimes. Anywho, plus live chat is funner because folks watching can participate and communicate. But sorry, I'm taking some German side. A little smoke, as you see, pretty neat. Smoke has all the usual attributes that blocks line of sight. The artillery has the action point system too. Most artillery can fire twice in a row or in a turn, and that can be split between two hexes. But then the offensive potency is also split between the two hexes. And there you go. Check my. Those guys rallied after taking the Panzer Faust fire. There you go. There's the artillery. Hey, whole battery of sextons on one guy in a little old village. And doesn't look like it. Well, no. Now that might have been the direct fire that did that to him. Anyway, but yeah, the smoke can be split. If you split it like this, it only lasts one turn. I think if you concentrate on one hex, then it lingers for two. I believe that's how it works. So, all right, now you can see the close assault, because I'm going to do it on this hex after I provide the fire support from this unit here, or this group of units. Good. A lot of show. So, close assault is you double click on, well, no, you don't. You don't have to, but I am. This infantry company here, I double clicked on. Right click into, make sure you got the move on. Now I'm doing a tutorial, I don't know why. But anyway, use movement instead of fire. Right click, you get the little, there's the, and then the rest of these guys can be added in. As you see, I'm using overkill, but you often need to. Now when you resolve this, and sometimes it's relevant to do it at different times. Resolve it, that is. For example, I could have done it had I been more confident. I could have assaulted this, and if I thought some of these units were going to retreat, they could retreat into this hex, possibly, and then I could, finish them off via direct fire. So sometimes the order of operations is a decision that you need to make as well. But I just want that hex and to move on. So I'm going to resolve the assault. There we go. So that's handled. And I'll just leave these guys here to try to mop up these fellas. And I'm gonna... There's that Joe's Bridge is what I'm really looking for. I'm gonna send these recon element to take a look, but make sure they save enough for fire. Oh, you did it again. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. It's just... I'm such a daft... doing that. I told everybody, don't do that. Now I've done it twice. I'm just a little worried about this thing dragging and boring people. Well... try to be a little more careful here. I don't know, they're all in good order, but they're moving away from me. So you have to think, I don't know if they're going to walk all the way back to the bridge. What were they doing all the way down here if they did that? But whatever they're doing, let's put a... Alright, these recon guys, they're just nothing. Oh well. Okay. Shake them up a little bit. Okay. So get them loaded up. These guys try to... There we go, there's a little something. Get them away from the objective, which I know they will counterattack. Pretty standard fare for the Germans. Got some more eyes on those roads. That's what I really wanted to see. I know I got the board pretty much cleared, but it's, there's that range thing I think is involved, just like in Panzerleader, or not just like, but similar to, where you lose potency if you fire at the long range. So self-propelled artillery up a little further. I don't know. There's another feature I don't know that if it carried over, but uh, in Talonsoft, successful offensive direct fire, that gives you a result, uh, often would give you more action points or wouldn't charge you the action points if you destroy the target, something like that. All I know is that um, you could squeeze an extra round out of an attack if you got good results. I don't know if that carried over or not. So sometimes you can really shellac them, rolling sixes or whatever, like in Flames of War. Isn't that how that works? I've only played that game once. Anyway, so hopefully I'm not boring you to death. Take a look at the strength. Not good. You know, my mistakes will obviously affect me. Shouldn't be that high, but we'll see how we do. Gonna advance the turn. And again, very Panzer leader, just typical tactical war game concept of scattered artillery and spotters that lose the target and make for that erratic placement of the mortar fire from the Germans. The spotting in that respect is the same. You don't have to be adjacent, but you have to keep, they're all the same. Keep your eyes on it. If you lose it goes wild. Oh, look at all that from being too far out. But that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, I have to move them up into that village. It's just, like I say, if you stuck to the move, stop, one turn, there's no way you're taking this thing in 22 turns at that rate. So, all right. See what's going on over here. Well, quite a few more things. Look at all the big defensive belt here. I don't know about. They do give you a victory. See, right now I'm not doing. Yeah. See, I got to get all that 150 points. That's not good. So I'm going to have to go for both. I probably shouldn't have forgone those other objectives, but we'll see. So a lot of people look at that and say, well, it's gamey. You're playing based on victory points and not based on tactics. And I agree. And but you also want to see how far you can get, so you game it. But I'd play multiplayer is a much better experience in this game, much better. But I'm playing with what I got. Still going to keep these guys here. I got an excessive amount of recon, and I really need the troops for what's up ahead, so get these guys mounted up. And I'll just kind of play cat and mouse with these infantry units with this recon stuff here. Got him burned down pretty good. I think they'll be enough to. These four are gonna well, maybe these three. I think that's a pretty utilitarian little item, that half track, so I think he's gonna come with me. But the other stuff, well, maybe they can make that transfer now. Let's see what else. I think I'm good to go through that field. Something's blocking my way there. Let's see what, but it says the hex side is blocked. It might be a stone wall or something. Send these two guys, try to, well, there's not much you can see from back there, but let's use them as, oh, what was that? Just got, I think that was, oh, there's the mortar opportunity fire. Okay. Respond in kind. Alright. So these guys are really, when they say light recon, I just shot at them to begin with, huh? I think what I'm going to do, obviously I'm going to use these guys for fire support. Let's do this. Kind of leads you to see how it takes, like, this doesn't look, well, supposed to follow the road. Sometimes they don't. More of that version. But it might just be my imagination. Anyway, it did happen in the other one too. See, I fired with 4 of those tanks, but only 2 of them used up action points. You don't get charged, so you can make more attacks. Alright. Take care of that. Range of weapon exceeded by 1 hex. Ah, still a waste of time. Bummer. Okay. So as I was saying, I think what I'm going to do here, sent these guys the wrong way. I was going to, well, I was going to use these guys for fire support, these guys being the tanks, and send in this half-track infantry here. And then this cavalry, light cavalry, try to surround the, well, try to get as many eyes on these trenches as I can. But I'd like to hit them here. I'd like to take these tanks and these Bren units, infantry units in the Brens, and see if I can hit behind these entrenchments. So We'll see how it goes. Now that I got eyes on this stuff, first put my artillery. I didn't have any target, but I shot anyway. That's the map fire, optional. Oh, just want to make sure this thing is. Sorry about that, but just checking my software to make sure I'm still functional. It's been pretty good, but it did quit on me once, so I just want to make sure I'm not locked up. Hit these two areas and see if they've got any depth to this. Alright. Halfway through. Everybody awake still? I commend you and thank you if you've listened to this all the way through. I sure hope you have. I can only imagine it's not that great, but I hate to be deprecating so much, but I'll get better. But if you've soldiered through all this, God bless you. Thanks for your support, and hopefully you're on the ground level of something that will build into a well-oiled machine. That's it. I want to send apparently not. They're set up for the assault there. Try to get these two guys. Scout out my idea there. To get some more information on these trenches. Ah, I did it again. Oh my, just a clod. You're supposed to back out first. There's like a company of those that lost. If there is next time. Okay. that's good enough. I'll put them. Oh, I've already moved. I've lost my place. Silly me. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep scouting here. See if I can see into these areas. Try to hit them from behind. Alright. But actually, the better way to do that is to hold here. See if they can get into this one. And then I think I can do that in 5 to 15 turns. The idea this will last 15 more turns is probably wishful thinking. But it might last, 13 or 14. Let's see if I've overcommitted to this sideshow here. Alright, well, we'll find out. I've got a couple more things I can do. These guys can... Pay attention better. Alright. I'd still love to be able to... Let's see if I can get this guy to... Well, they can still see. Anyhow. I don't think I need that many tanks. I'm going to put this. Alright, let's see how... They're probably out of whack for everything, sure. Making some decisions. I'm determining where I want to put these guys. Well, they've just moved. I keep losing my place. But eventually, they'll headquarter here for the final on this bridge. Alrighty. I'm good. Oh, scout cars are being abused. You can cycle through the reports faster if you click on the X button. Sometimes it's information you want to know, and sometimes you can just speed things up by rifling through them. Well, looks like the guys I ignored are marching to the sound of the guns, like Rommel said. Alright. Let's see. First, let's see if we can... Yeah. Quiet these guys down a bit. Last guy there. Hopefully, nothing. Alright. So... I don't see any units, but I have... I don't know if that was their last turn. I don't recollect seeing it, so it looks like I'm developing a little bit more of a picture of the area. So let's get this party started. Alright. Try to keep the enemy's heads down with suppression fire. Unload here in this little crevice. I think that's close enough with the sextants. If I get any closer, I start running the risk of them. Some wandering German unit to overrun them. Okay. And we'll start putting down some artillery. I think leaders or spotters can, I think doesn't really matter what's looking at it. I think spotting. I don't think it has to be a recon element, although I guess it doesn't matter because they all can see the target. How about this one? So yeah, let's put one battery on each. Probably won't do much. They're heavily entrenched in there, but maybe I'll get lucky. And I still got airstrikes. I forgot that I have airstrikes. They're anti-tank. Might be some fire brigade coming down the road at some point to see. Okay. I think I've done all I can do, but let's just make sure. Again, this is a handy little tool. I think these folks can get a little closer. There. The other thing is, that's risky to see. There, not to see. Behind me, there we are. Anything else that needs my attention? I think I've got it all, but like to just. All right. Ready for turn, what will this be? 9. Oh, it's Axis turn 8. Great, I'm hosting the game, but I don't know what turn it's on. Close enough. Yep. I was correct that there was some strength in those village strong points, but I might not have been correct that they should have been ignored. We'll see. Alright, more information on the trenches. Alright. Lots of logistical issues. Oh! Good there. I kind of sounds cool though, don't it? Good sound effects. Alright. See if the direct fire can be more helpful. A little bit so. Oh yeah, good. Guys moved up. There we are. That guy flying. Okay. Dice there. Nope. Oh well. These guys got a couple. least one. Let this guy get involved. Must be a... What are those things? Got a Bofors on them? That sounded like a... Let's find out. Yeah. Got the big... Well, he's in the wrong place. Maybe I can... Can I squeeze into this? No. Now, let's see what happens if I take this. Oh. Alright. No good from them. Oh, very good. Look at that. Oh. Kids, don't try that at home. See, stuff like that. Well, some of these roads don't look like they're connected properly. That's a heck of a time to make that observation, but I just see little quirks that make me long for the original. But Matrix is a fine company. Lots of people play lots of fun games on there, I'm sure. So that's all right. Minor quirks. Fill airtime. Maybe I should write a script next time. I'm confident that I don't need these anymore in that area. In fact, I'm just gonna load up the infantry too. Like before. These little light recon fellers. I hope. Okay. How's my artillery? There we go. Got some. I'm not using the air attack because they're anti-tank, and that's just a hint to me that this scenario's set to start throwing Panzers or Stugs or something at me at some point. So, all right, Germans. Yep. You say the opportunity fire. Oh, a little firefight going on. Those things are just made out of tissue paper, those little British scout cars. I guess I'm not using them in their intended role. But I'm surprised that 2 hexes out, they're getting shredded by MG-34s. Looks like they're going to win the race. I see there's quite a gaggle of infantry moving in to guard that bridge. Well, oh, something got disrupted. Oh, bummer. I just looked at the thing. This is what happens when you start 12 hours into your day instead of 2 or 3. Old man starts to fade away. go well. Like I say, tanks can do for him. Nice little assault gun. That's a handy dandy little thing. He's helped out quite a bit. Now, one thing that can happen if you're a newbie is that stuff can, because you're allowed to put like quite a bit of strength points in one hex, sometimes stuff is hidden. I'll show you what I mean. They're stacks, and you can use these two bottom or two top, but a quick and easy way to shake loose what might be hiding in one of these stacks is to just do that. Change the facing. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't trigger opportunity fire, and you might see something hiding under a stack that you forgot is there, that has some action points to use up. So this 4 tanks up here. Oh well. Still not anything there. Okay. So let's get well, he's probably gonna eat up that scout rifle. I'm all for it's very late at night for me, and my home life situation has me doing this at ridiculous hours. So try to not go Rip Van Winkle on you here. Alrighty. But I admittedly am starting to fade. Okay, I put the dual on there. I don't know that that's going to really help at all, but just in the interest of... Okay. Moved forward to the access turn. There we go. Huh. I made it through that. Oh! Yep. Oh, wow. They're jogging down that road. I'm going to be facing. The resistance is stiffening. Problem. Oh, now come on. Did you see that? Look at that. Pushed away 2 more platoons. That's wild. Alright, well, that's a problem because, oh, look at that. This guy's down to 1. He's just gotten really done up here. So here's one of these things where you got to think about, like the assault. Now, if I fired at him first, he might retreat in there and make the assault harder. So I was almost made another sleepy time mistake. There we go. Wait a minute, let's do this right. Okay, there we go. So we'll do that there. Boy, this guy, he's the one that's going to see the artillery next. I'd like to use that as interdiction. That maybe I'll catch a couple of these guys if I'm lucky. Slow them down towards the bridge. See if anybody in this square has some. Oh. Press it. Nope. Okie dokie. That's more like it. Want to see what I switch to this side, because I just wanted to see if I could shake this guy loose. Tell you what, let's do this. What I'm doing is road here. Try to get at this machine gun a little bit. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Oh, I just realized my mic might have not been facing in the right direction. I hope that hasn't affected the volume for the last how many hours. Ugh. I just... Dennis the Menace. I can't make it worse. Okay, Well, I dismounted so far back. I'm probably a little too cautious, but uh, I have made several blunders, and the casualty count is getting too high. So I just wanted to make sure that they're in safety. All right. Advance to access turn. Sometimes it does this. I never recall this occurring in Talonsoft unless it's about to crash, but sometimes in the Matrix version, you just get silence. And it might be my computer, but I've noticed that the turn, when you hit a turn to go to the AI player, sometimes it sits still for quite a long time. Sometimes so long you think that the game is locked up, which is why I was hesitant to say anything. Did I just blow this thing? Alright, the final turn. I got this trouble happening, moving in on me here. Where they got me at? Let's just get an idea what the victory looks like. Okay, now everything's changed. Now I'm at... even though it's a major victory, the butcher's bill kind of vetoes that as a legitimate appraisal of my performance, frankly, because I don't expect to recuperate the losses. And whatever's further up this road, this is just fighting to get a spot to launch the offensive. So we won't be playing the whole campaign today. This is long enough. This is just scenario 1, and it's just kind of a test run, and it's going to be rough, or it has been rough. If you're still with me, you must be pretty damn bored. But yeah, we're not going to sit through 6 hours of gaming here. This is, where are we at? Probably 3 already anyway. Anyway, let's see what happens. I got some moves to make. And we'll take a look at it in a second. Okay. Final, well, possibly the final turn. See what... I'm solidly at a victory, but... excuse me. Okay. Keep getting interruptions, but I doubt anybody's watching this far along. God bless you if you are. Okay, got this guy in my way. Let's see if we can deal with these issues. This bridge is zeroed in by this machine gun, but I got another one here. Well, let's try to hit him. Sometimes you can do it twice. Yeah. There we go. Beat up by those guys pretty bad. Yeah. Let's see. guys. Alright. Try to keep stuff. See how it's tight in there? That's the stack thing I was talking about. Alright. What other things? That looks pretty secure. I don't feel like that's a problem right now. Bring this guy. Probably gonna be no effect here. He's just gonna sit there. Whatevs. Alright. Other than a fairly regular occurrence of troops. I don't know how many. I counted at least 6 at one point. Maybe this is one of them. But there's 2 or 3 more coming my way, I think, at least. And still think there's tanks coming. Although it's turn 12. This might be it. Let's see what happens. How many more turns after this I get. There's that nasty like I said, it's nasty, but usually it's nasty when you're on the receiving end on those computers. And it finally got disrupted. Panzerfausts or whatever they're flying. Yeah. Oh, wow. Not a good showing. Lost a tank. That's from my core. Very poor. I had to stop. I got, like I said, I get interruptions, and then, oh, there's the end of it. And I needed a Snickers bar. All right, let's see how we did. Well, like I say, the victory points thing turned out okay for me, but that much in losses I don't consider a major victory. But as you can tell, I'm a little hard on myself. So anyhow, and well, there's one little more thing. When you hit OK, sometimes this can be amusing, and it'll give you a little cliffhanger for the next time. So just, if you're here 2 more minutes. Oh, I guess it doesn't do that anymore. It used to have a neat little thing. Maybe I didn't do enough to earn it like metal, but yeah, the picture of your general, you know, you remember Panzer General, he'd tell you how good you did or how bad you did, but I guess this version is pixelated out. Thanks for watching if you're still watching. Thanks for watching if you're not still watching, although you won't hear me. And like I say, I'll keep trying to improve, keep trying to expand, and keep on keeping on in general. Thanks again. Oh, you get to watch me back out. Can't get to it. There we go. Have a good one. Bye-bye.